What's going on, guys? It's Thomas from the Switch Stop here with my Legend of Zelda Maker video. So if you're watching this video, chances are you clicked on this because you saw my Legend of Zelda Maker trailer, which is by far like one of my favorite videos I've ever put out on this channel. If you're somehow here without seeing that in the first place, well then, welcome, and yeah, go watch that before you watch this, because as I just said, it came out amazing. It was one of my favorite videos on this channel. I really think you'll probably like it if you're interested in Zelda, or even just Nintendo as a whole. Anyway, here we go. This is my theory about why the Legend of Zelda Maker will become a thing on the Switch, and I have actually a lot of points pointing towards this. The first major point is that currently 2D Zelda as we know it is kind of dead. Breath of the Wild did amazing on the Switch, and the creator of the Legend of Zelda series, Eiji Aonuma, said that the 3D open world style of Breath of the Wild will be the same style as their next Switch game and all main console Zeldas going forward. And since the 3DS is now dead, they're not going to put another 2D Zelda there, but they've confirmed that the rest of the Switch Zeldas will be open world 3D. But however, 2D Zelda's way too important just to let go and die. I mean, we've gotten so many great 2D Zeldas over the years, such as the original NES, A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, that there's no way they're just gonna sit there and let it die. So I think they will definitely revive 2D Zelda, but in the form of Super Zelda Maker or something along that lines. It's something that would really help revive the series, and this is basically the same thing they did with Mario Maker. Because after 4 new Super Mario Bros. Games, I mean, let's face it, it was getting quite stale. I loved the games, and they were all really fun, but you could tell, even with some of the last games in the series, like New Super Mario Bros. 2 and New Super Mario Bros. U, they were great games that had very creative aspects to them, but they were just kind of running out of ideas. So they figured, why not harness the creativity of the crowd and give them the means to make their own Mario? That's exactly what they could do again here with Zelda. There are rumors currently going around right now that you've probably heard of that A Link Between Worlds and A Link to the Past are both being ported over to the Switch, with A Link to the Past being completely remastered. While I hope this would happen, it seems kind of fake, but even if it's not fake, this really just proves my point. They're running out of ideas for 2D Zelda, as we can see with this pair of ports, and I mean, they can't just port all the 2D Zelda games forever. They're gonna have to create a new game, and if they're out of ideas, what better way to do that than exactly what they did with Mario Maker. However, that's not the kicker. The main thing is that they already have a working prototype. Back at GDC last year, one of the devs of Breath of the Wild gave a conference, a little like TED Talk, like mini TED Talk if you will, about how they made a working, customizable, fully customizable, right, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild prototype in the 8-bit Legend of Zelda style. I'll flash some screenshots up on the screen right now, but basically, Breath of the Wild was such a huge game, he said, that they needed to have a working, fully customizable 8-bit prototype for that world, so they could just customize whatever they wanted and see if all the physics worked, and they could fully customize this. If they didn't like something, they could just immediately swap it out, and they were making changes to this 8-bit world all the time. Now let's go over how Mario Maker became a thing. The developers of Mario Maker originally tried to make this tool not for a full game, but just so it would be way easier for the developers of the Mario series to make Mario games just a lot easier, just using these drag and drop simple things that we now know as Mario Maker. The stories are remarkably similar, and one more point is, since development of Breath of the Wild took so long, Breath of the Wild was almost certainly in development for a lot of, if not all of, Mario Maker's development cycle. Shigeru Miyamoto, being a big kahuna in both the Zelda aspect and the Mario aspect of Nintendo, was definitely not just aware, but fully involved on both of these games. He sees that Mario Maker is coming together so great. He's gone on record saying Mario Maker is one of his favorite games. He loves seeing what people create. And then he sees the Breath of the Wild team making their own fully customizable prototype where you can pretty much swap anything in and out of an NES 8-bit Zelda. I mean, it's literally perfect. There's no way that no one at Nintendo was like, hey, we should make this into a Zelda Maker just like Mario Maker. Even if somehow they didn't even think of it at the time, just think of it now. Breath of the Wild is completely over. We know that there is no more DLC. All the DLC has been released. There's no more development for Breath of the Wild. And they are currently developing the next game in Breath of the Wild style. So they are currently just sitting on a fully customizable 8-bit Legend of Zelda prototype. To the developers, making Legend of Zelda Maker wouldn't even be like a game. It's more like of an enhanced port of a tool that they have already made all those years ago when developing Breath of the Wild. So let's go over the points so far. 2D Zelda, as we know it, is dead. There's no other place for them to make a mainline 2D Zelda. But the developers have a fully customizable 2D NES Legend of Zelda Maker style thing, which allows them to easily swap in and out of complete customizable 2D Zelda, everything. This is literally, there's so many just glaring signs pointing towards this being a thing that I will honestly be shocked if it isn't. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think? I, as I said, really hope and think that this will be a thing. I mean, if you think people were creative with a 2D platformer, imagine how creative people could be making their entire kingdoms in The Legend of Zelda Maker. Also, one last thing, it fits better on the Switch. With Mario Maker, you're constantly placing down, platforms and building huge-ass, just colossal areas. You have to build walls, ground, everything. But Zelda Maker, you don't really need to do that. All you need to place is the occasional obstacle, enemy, and that stuff. And since the Switch doesn't have a touchscreen when playing in console mode, it makes sense that you wouldn't have to, do as much, because all you would be using is the sticks, not an actual touchscreen. Or motion controls if they went that route. Once again, it just makes so much sense. I mean, come on, man. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Watch my Legend of Zelda 2D trailer thing, Maker. It'll be linked at the end of this video. It's so good. Please watch it. Or at least I think it came out well. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.